الطبيب أريه حالي وهل يدري الطبيب بما جرالي جلست فقال ما شكواك صفها فقلت
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. And today we're looking at the books of Shaykh Abdullah Siraj written on the topic of tafsir. Now Shaykh Abdullah Siraj rahimahullah ta'ala is a teacher of the likes of Shaykh Muhammad Awama, Shaykh Nuruddin Itr and other scholars as well. He is a colleague of Shaykh Abdul Fattah Abu Ghudda, a student of Shaykh Raghib al-Tabbakh and other scholars as well. And he's passed away, and rahimahullah, he was a great scholar, and he was an amazing mufassir as well. He had talents in many fields, and Shaykh Awama refers to him as an imam in different fields of knowledge, including tafsir. And this is quite prevalent and is quite evident in his books of tafsir. So what he has is a number of different books. For example, each book will be titled Hawla Tafsir. So for example, you got Hawla Tafsir Surah Al-Fatiha, and this is approximately about, it's over close to 203 pages, all on Surah Fatiha alone. So for example, we're preparing for our Ramadan lessons or our Ramadan lectures, and you are thinking of what to say in the tafsir of a certain surah. He has got a book written on many of the famous surahs in the Quran, and these are tremendously detailed. And one of the things about Shaykh Abdullah Siraj is that he was a hafidhul hadith. He knew thousands, and you could almost say hundreds of thousands of hadith in the famous books of hadith. He knew them. He knew certain books by heart. He knew Tanweer al-Absar by heart. He knew Sharh al-Zurqani ala al-Qastallani. He had read it cover to cover, and so many other books that he had read cover to cover. Therefore, what you will notice in his books is that he uses so many ahadith and he quotes a lot of the ahadith. Obviously, although the page number is not found, but you can see, for example, وَأَخْرَجَ أَبُو نُعَيْمٍ فِي تَارِيخِ أَصْبَهَانَ رَوَى الْبَيْهَقِي فِي الشُّعَبِ. Almost every page is filled with just references to hadith, and it's absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's like the hadith are flowing at the top of his mind. Obviously, he knows all the hadith by heart. He would memorize many books of hadith, as I mentioned, by heart. Sahihain, Kutub Sitta, and the list just goes on and on and on. And Shaykh Awama, in his footnotes on Tadrib al-Rawi, in the second volume, he's actually got a story about how he considers Shaykh Abdullah Siraj as a Hafiz al-Hadith, due to also the fact that there's a famous story that happened wherein someone took an oath that if Shaykh Abdullah Siraj has not memorized a certain huge number of hadith in the thousands, hundreds of thousands, then my wife will get divorced. So when they asked Shaykh Abdullah Siraj that will the person get a divorce, he wasn't too happy with the fact that the person had taken such an oath, but he kind of said, no, the divorce will not occur because yes, I have memorized this many hadith. And what you find is the ability of the author to link one Quranic ayah with another is just phenomenal. It's absolutely unbelievable. It's not really what we might label as tafsirul Qur'ani bil Qur'an, but it is rabtul ayah bil ayah, and it's jam'ul anzar, as what we would call it in usul al-tafsir as jam'ul anzar or rabtul ayah bil ayah. And as we know, as Shaykh Musa'id al-Tayyar and others have mentioned on this, that in terms of rabtul ayah bil ayah, it's unlimited the amount of the scope there is of linking one ayah with another. I just want to show you, if I can, maybe a few places wherein you can just see the tremendous abilities of this scholar. He says, Malik Yawmiddin al-Malik هو الذي يملك رقاب الأشياء وذواتها فهي ملك له، وأما الملك فهو المتصرف في الأمور والمدبر لها، فالله تعالى هو مالك يوم الدين ومالك ما جمع فيه من الأولين والآخرين، وهو ملك يوم الدين كما جاء في قراءة سبعية، وقال تعالى الملك يومئذ الحكم لله، الملك يومئذ يحكم بينهم، الملك يومئذ لله يحكم بينهم. وروى البخاري عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه صلى الله عليه وسلم قال يقبض الله تعالى الأرض ويطوي السماء بيمينه ثم يقول أنا الملك أين ملوك الأرض. So you can see he's already finding a hadith to kind of support this Quranic ayah. This is through his own ijtihad, obviously. This wouldn't really be called tafsir of the Quran with sunnah, but it is a form of tafsir al-Quran with the sunnah, but there is involvement of some form of ijtihad there. So his ability of linking a hadith with Quranic ayat, I've never seen anything like this. It's truly phenomenal. That's not to say it doesn't exist from other scholars, but just in my humble and limited scope of knowledge, I've genuinely not read something so amazing. I actually was the ability of his to explain certain ayat, the idea of linking ihdina sirat al-mustaqim with the sirat in the hereafter as well, that كان على ربك حتما مقضية, the passing over the bridge of Jahannam. Then the ability to kind of discuss aspects of what the Quran, the structure of the Quran in Surah Fatiha. Some of the stuff is absolutely mind-boggling. I've never come across something like this. You can tell he's someone who was literally a wali of Allah. In the Hawla Tafsir Surah Al-Fatiha, so for example, one place, صِرَاطَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ. So أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ is a reference, according to many scholars, but according to Shaykh Abdullah Siraj, he tries to prove that it's basically النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين وحسن أولئك رفيقا, because in that Quranic ayah Allah makes reference to the fact that أنعم الله عليهم. So then in that regard he then goes into the 77, or basically the 70 or so aspects of Iman, the Shu'abul Iman, all of which fall under the Salihin. Then you got the Shuhada, then you got the Siddiqeen, and then you've got the Anbiya. So, ihdina, why are we asking Allah Ta'ala for guidance? Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim. Why are we asking Allah Ta'ala for guidance? If we are already believers, why are we asking Allah for guidance? It's perhaps to increase us in guidance, so that we go up in these levels of being from the salihin, then we move up to the shuhada, then we move in that idea. Or perhaps to ask for hidayah right near the end of our life. So that would not then be interpreted in line with the Quranic ayah, رَبَّنَا لَا تُزِغْ قُلُوبَنَا بَعْدَ إِذْ هَدَيْتَنَا وَهَبْ لَنَا مِن لَدُنْكَ رَحْمَةً. So the way he links up different ayat, and اهدنا الصراط المستقيم, why has صراط المستقيم been mentioned, and then why has صراط الذين أنعمت, why has that صراط been repeated? The idea of pleading comes in, and his abilities are just mind-boggling, subhanallah. And at the end of the Hawla Tafsir Surah Al-Fatiha, he's got a discussion here on all the specialities of Surah Al-Fatiha as well at the end. Again, filled with ahadith, absolutely filled with ahadith, filled with wisdom, benefit. And you can imagine 200 or so pages, and he's got his own research in certain places, his own ways of thinking, and you can tell he was a wali of Allah in the sense that in certain places he's almost pleading, he's making dua in the kitab to Allah Ta'ala as well. So a really fantastic bunch of kitabs, series that you can get your hands on. Even this Hawla Tafsir Surah Al-Hujurat. As we know, Surah Al-Hujurat is an amazing kitab and amazing surah in terms of its relevance for us in this day and age, because it teaches us the etiquettes of how to be as a believer with other believers. So when it comes to the ayah of ghiba, he's got all the different types of ghiba, how to refrain from ghiba, what to do if you have done ghiba, all backed up with a hadith, by the way. And not just that, aqwal of ulama as well. So you got here Qal al-Hafiz al-Mundhiri, loads, hadith galore, wa an ibn Umar. Here, some of them are actually, they are referenced at the bottom. Not all of the hadith are referenced, but at least he's showing you which kitab. وَفِي حَدِيثِ النَّسَائِ وَعَنْ سَيِّدِنَا. And sometimes he'll mention a hadith and then he'll say وَفِي رِوَايَةِ التِّرْمِذِي. So you can just show his abilities. You can see his abilities in hadith in terms of he knows the additional riwayat in the different books of hadith as well. And what I do like about these prints is the contents are really good. They are quite really well organized, and they are really detailed, and they can really help you and answer a lot of your questions as to where you are looking to expand upon an ayah, what are you are looking to touch upon. Absolutely fantastic. Even the Surah Al-Fatiha one, if you look at the contents, again, he's written more than just these 4 books. He's written many books on tafsir, and you can access them through the links that I'm going to put inshallah in the description. مالك يوم الدين وفي ذلك تنبيهات متعددة. التنبيه إلى حقية ذلك اليوم ومعقوليته وحكمته ودليل ذلك. التنبيه إلى إحسان العمل في الدنيا استعدادا لذلك اليوم. مقتضى حكمة الله تعالى محاسبة العباد في يوم الدين. بيان أن العباد المكلفين أعطاهم الله تعالى العقل والاختيار والقدرة الممكنة لهم من فعل الخير والشر. So it's really well detailed contents and a really beneficial kitab. A fantastic preparation for Ramadan. I hope you purchase one of these books, whichever tafsir you want to get into or you're planning to teach. Do get yourself a copy of this book, inshallah. You will benefit. It's like a bayan on the actual surah, backed up with loads of ahadith, beautiful points from different books that he's managed to get, and sometimes from his own mind as well, because he was a very well-read scholar in different fields of knowledge. So inshallah, I hope you benefited from this video. If you did, please give it a like. Inshallah ta'ala, share it with others who may also benefit from books like this and prepare for their Ramadan tafsir lessons, or perhaps their teaching lessons, or even if it's a learning lesson, whatever it is, inshallah ta'ala. And if you do purchase these books, inshallah ta'ala, remember me in your du'as as well, and inshallah ta'ala, try to subscribe to the channel so that it can motivate myself and it can motivate others to come and visit these videos and benefit from these books, inshallah ta'ala, so that we can revive the tradition of our scholars and of our Islamic literature, inshallah ta'ala, and Islamic knowledge. Jazakumullahu khaira. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.